Hi, my name is Cassie. I'm one of the STEM Ambassador Coordinators at LEVC for the East Midlands region. Just doing this quick recording to talk you through our One Small Change competition. That's to promote ecology, climate change, and mathematics skills as well. Just thought we'd record this quick introduction so you can find out a little bit more about it. So, One Small Change for. Then you insert either your school name, class name, or just student name, and then one giant change for planet Earth. The idea being, if we get lots and lots of schools or home educated students across the East Midlands, then all of these small changes that you make can come together and make a big impact, which we can then shout about and share with the world how well the East Midlands has done in trying to do our part in reducing climate change. So, context, why do we need to make the changes? Now, as we all know, in the news recently about the rate of climate change. Okay, so the planet is changing faster than it naturally would. That's mainly down to human behaviours. So if it's mainly down to human behaviours, we can do things to try and reduce the impact. We're also running out of materials, so part of your focus can be about recycling materials, running out of room to get rid of our rubbish, so again, recycling, reusing, repurposing, and due to increasing population, how can we reduce our impact to ensure that we have less impact on weather, temperature, and habitat destruction. So what is the competition? So essentially it's looking for your students, your class, your school, your year group to make 6 small changes. Now, obviously we've already gone through January, but that doesn't matter. You can just make 2 changes in any of the months from February to June, as long as there are 6 changes made throughout that time frame. And basically there just needs to be a small thing. So it could be putting a box in your room to recycle your paper if you don't already. It could be turning off the lights in the classroom an hour before the end of the day and seeing if you can do lessons outside, or do your group reading at that point so that you're using less electricity and monitor that. It could be growing some wildflowers in your garden area, in the playground area, and then monitoring the insects that use the flowers in the spring. So you need to track the changes and monitor that with a different math skill for each change. And I'll explain a bit more of that in a moment. So each change must have a different math skill. At the end of each month, you just record a very short 60 to 90-second maximum video of what your change is and the impact you think it has had, and then put all of those videos together to send to us at the end of June. So you'll obviously need to make sure that any students that take part in that have got permission from parents and guardians for that to happen. So where can you make a difference? What things can you do? Because we don't want this to be too time consuming for you. We know you're all very busy as classroom teachers with lots of things to try and fit into the curriculum and into your day. So looking at your energy use, trying to turn off things that aren't needed to be on. You could have a group of students in charge of each change. So maybe 5 students in charge of each change, and they can drive each change forward for you. So they could be your light switch monitors and go around the school once a day, making sure that extra lights that aren't needed have been turned off. Water usage. Can you get someone in your community to donate a water butt? Can you make sure that taps aren't dripping? Can you do a survey in your school to find out whether you have the soft flush toilet flushing that doesn't use as much water? Could you then do a fundraiser to purchase those if you don't have them? Or again, ask a parent, maybe in the plumbing trade, if they could install them for you. Waste food. Okay, so trying to reduce the amount of food that is wasted at lunchtime, and maybe getting children to make a poster about it to go around your hall or wherever the students eat their lunch. Recycling might be quite an easy one for you to introduce if you're not already doing it at school, or if you are doing it and maybe not collecting as much as you expected. Have a drive on that, and then weigh your recycling each week. Reuse. So can you have some sessions where you're reusing some of the waste that you're creating in your school to maybe create some artwork to make the environment a better, brighter place to learn? Quite a few schools have drives on this already due to road safety and things like that, or there is actually sort of national walk to school and walk to work weeks throughout the year. So monitoring how many students walk, can you do another drive on that, particularly as the weather starts getting better, and working out how much CO2 they're saving compared with driving. And then growing. Could be wildflowers to attract insects, could be some vegetables. You don't need a lot of room. There is a lot you can do just in tubs. And again, could you maybe put in a parent newsletter about anybody donating things? A seed swap is a great way to get the community involved. So see if people can donate parts of packets that they've used and then don't need the rest of the seeds for. And trying to encourage more wildlife, building bug hotels and things like that. That would be a great one, because you can then count the bugs that are in there each week. So what we can provide for you is that we've got a list of other events that are going on nationally or internationally that you might want to tie your challenges into. So come up in February is perhaps a bit more of a difficult month. Actually, we've got Wetlands Day and World Polar Bear Day. But at least with the Polar Bear Day, you could think about climate change and increasing temperatures. So maybe think about the electricity usage for that one. March, Global Recycling Day and Water Day. So maybe make your March challenge set around recycling or water usage. April, we see our Walk to Work Day. So that's maybe where you could bring in that challenge. Doing your gardening for Community Garden Week in the 1st to the 7th of April. That's a national thing. So again, perhaps you could get some parents or grandparents involved in helping you with that. May, no mow May. So can you ask your site team not to mow the grass and then see the impact that has? Try and see how many different plant and insect species you have at the beginning of May compared to the end of May. And then June, we've got the great big Green Week, Clean Air Day and Refill Day. So maybe you've got a local refill shop. Maybe get in touch with them and see if you can do a school trip there and get them weighing out certain products like pasta, rice and spices and things like that, and learn what a refill shop is. We've included some good websites there to talk to the students about climate change. Obviously, we are not wanting to make any of them too concerned or worried about it, but to be empowered and know that actually children do have a voice and can do something constructive if the adults around them perhaps aren't. So how do you link the maths in? So we have got a couple of slides here on the Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 math skills. You probably being the subject experts there might know other ways of linking in your math skills. But for example, counting and addition, you could count the number of times children walk to and from school, or you could add the miles that they're walking, count the pieces of paper recycled each week, count the number of birds seen at a feeder. Fractions, can you reduce the amount of paper even used, let alone recycled, by a quarter? We all know schools use a lot of paper. Multiplying, can you double the number of children walking, double the number of plants growing, times the number of drinks bottles used in school by 10 rather than having disposable throwaway plastic bottles. Measuring, weighing the recycling collected, recording the volume of rainwater collected to then use on your garden. Time, how many minutes or hours of electricity can you save per week? Compost, how many days does it take for certain items to decompose? Money, if you host a seed swap or plant sale from your gardening efforts, how much money do you raise? And data collection, do a tally chart for all the different birds you spot, insects you find, or materials you recycle. So that's possible Key Stage 1 maths links. Key Stage 2, years 3 and 4, can you estimate the miles that your class walks in 6 months? If multiple classes are taking part, find out what fraction of the whole total your class is. Percentages, what percentage of your recycling is plastic compared to paper? Measuring, pretty much the same as previous year group. So you can see that I'm not going to read them all out, but there's lots of ideas that we're providing for you, so you don't have to come up with these on your own. And then for the slightly older students, measuring, create a mini allotment and calculate the area for each vegetable patch. So maybe for each type of vegetable. For time, conduct an experiment looking at how long it takes for different items to decompose, maybe in different temperatures, something like that. And data collection, creating bar charts, moving it on from just tally charts. So lots and lots of ideas there for you. And we're very keen to make sure that we're not just improving the math skills. You can also look at the skills builder partnership and look at the kind of employability skills. I know it seems a long time away from primary school, but important to be working on them. So speaking is one of the skills. So if different students can present in the video each month. Creativity, can you encourage others to take part, your family or the local community, by doing posters, by doing little clips to go out on social media. Leadership, if you have a group in your class for each strand of your competition, for each challenge, who can be team leader in each of those teams, who's going to be one recording everything, that sort of thing. Listening, coming up with your ideas and listening to each other's ideas. Also, if you do take part in this, you probably will be able to enter your efforts for various CREST Awards as well. So there are the Star and Superstar challenges. These cost £1 per student and they are teacher assessed. There's lots of them online. I've included the link in our presentation with some of the activities that would tie both the CREST and your competition entry together there. If the cost is a significant factor and means you may not be able to contribute, please let us know, because we do have some companies willing to support, and we may be able to match you if it's in the right area, so that they cover the cost of your CREST Award entries. There's the Superstar ones listed separately, and then there's also the Discovery Award as well. That is £3 per student and would need probably a little bit more work adding to it as well. Okay, normally for 10 to 14-year-olds, but can be done by younger students and needs at least 5 hours plus of effort and a bit of research. So that might take a little bit more organising as to how to fit it into your challenge, but definitely doable. I am more than happy to support a school with that. Community element, there will be bonus points for any submissions that have been able to get the community involved as well, but it does not mean you have to. If this is a little bit too much of a stretch for your time, then please do not worry about it. But it could just be sharing what you do on your school's social media, website or newsletter. One of your month's challenges could be something you get the students to do at home, so they're making their family get involved. As long as you document it and they're still measuring it, that is fine. It doesn't all have to be done in school. Setting up your veg plot or nature garden, could parents or grandparents come in and help? Holding some kind of community sale or event, so a seed swap, plant sale, clothes swoosh where you swap clothes that you've donated, or a community litter pick. You could hold a climate change fair at school with a stand for each change and invite local community to come in and hear what the children have learnt and what they have done in each of those separate monthly challenges. Now, you won't be alone in this. You can have an ambassador be a mentor, so they'll drop in every couple of weeks, once a month, see how you're doing, suggest things to do, help you out with some organisation, give you some background context. We will be recording some webinars and doing live webinars with some of our environmental ambassadors, so your children can learn about jobs in the green sector whilst you're doing your challenges. Or you could just get an ambassador to do a one-off visit to your school tied in with one of your challenges that you're going to do. So maybe if you're doing electricity, we can get someone from the energy sector to potentially come in and do an activity with you. You just need to let us know what you want. And there are lots and lots of climate resources on the STEM Learning website as well, which I've put a link to in there as well. So the judging criteria, you get points awarded for the variety of the areas tackled. The more variety, the higher the score. So if they were all to do basically with recycling, you'd get a lower score than if they covered recycling, energy use, water use, nature, that sort of thing. We need a clear different math skill used for each month. Knowledge shown, if it is clear students have learned something about climate change and why their change is helping the planet. Personal skills improved, such as the ones mentioned, if that's evident. If you have used a resource from the website, that will get you a few bonus points as well. How well you maintain the challenges. Okay, that is another thing. So once you've started the challenge, they continue till the end of June. Part of your maths could be actually looking at how much you'd save maybe over a year if you were to do this. The idea being that it takes so many days to make something become a habit. So we don't just want you doing it for 30 days or 29 days and then dropping it, because that won't be a habit then. If we can encourage our children to form these habits, they'll hopefully take them with them into their homes, encourage other family members, neighbours, etc., and continue these habits into adulthood to ensure that we're protecting our planet. And then the overall impact, that's what it's all about. How much do these small changes culminate into a big impact? And then we'll be looking at all the schools across the East Midlands and adding up your combined impacts at the end of the challenge. So to submit the challenge, it will be to upload the video to a secure Google Drive, which our DBS checked ambassadors will then judge. If you have any other questions, please do feel free to email me, and hope to see you on the challenge helping us save the planet together. Thank you.